Hello, Brad here, just to say we're super proud that the Friday 5pm podcast is sponsored by the Malt Miller, the UK's best home brew store.
We use the Malt Miller for all of our homebrew experiments, as well as tapping them up for advice and binging on their awesome YouTube channel all the time.
That's why whenever we release a homebrew video, we put a recipe kit live on the Malt Miller, so you can brew with the exact same amazing ingredients that we did. The same ingredients used by pro brewers.
So alongside the Malt Miller's nitro-flushed hops, cold-stored yeast and milled-to-order malts, you can pick up recipe kits for our 5 Points Best Bitter, Russian River West Coast IPA, and now the fastest beer in the world, a hazy session IPA that goes from grain to glass in less than 48 hours.
Sign up to their newsletter at tinyurl.com/Malt Miller to get 5% off your first order. With the Malt Miller's amazing customer service and Johnny's 48-hour recipe, you could order the ingredients on a Monday and be drinking the beer by the weekend.
Speaking of which, it's Friday.
It's 5pm.
So enjoy this week's Friday 5pm podcast. Happy Friday, Big Geeks. It's Friday. It's 5pm. It's Friday. Stop saying Friday. Welcome to the next edition of Friday 5pm. Did it again. How are you, Brad?
That's a lot of Fridays. I'm all right, mate. Yeah, not too bad. Still living in lockdown, which is weird. I've lost track of the days and the nights and the weeks. But,
yeah, and it was my birthday yesterday, and my gift was 3 more weeks.
3 more weeks for Johnny Garrett and the rest of the world. Yes.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it wasn't what you asked for, I suppose, was it?
Well, it certainly wasn't on my list, no.
No.
But we did have an amazing day on Wednesday.
We did.
I even sent a slightly choked up emotional tweet afterwards saying thanks to everyone because we put a slightly risky video live and then did a live show. And let's be honest, the live show before that didn't go so well. So it was mostly relief and drunkenness that made me post that tweet.
Yes, we are the masters of chaos when it comes to live shows.
It does seem to be that way.
But yeah, man, give a little shout out to StreamYard because their technology was great and it worked and it was pretty flawless, I thought.
Yeah, it was very professional, unlike the people using it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, we do a live show every single month, and we've been adapting those live shows into what we're calling a digital pub club. So we try to create the hashtag bants that you might get in a pub with your friends. And we have a pub quiz. And last time's was chaotic. We lost Brad's voice at one point. We lost his visuals throughout most of it, and struggled to hold it together.
Yeah.
This time it was flawless thanks to StreamYard and us being a tiny bit better prepped.
Yeah, I think I was I was definitely drunker this time, but the technology held out, which was the thing that made it so chaotic last time. So. We managed to get that kind of there wasn't much of a delay in the audio and the video, so I could see you could see me, and we could get our little thing going together, our little bit of bants. So I think
our repartee.
That's the one. I think everyone was appreciating it in the comments, and we were calling all the comments out, and like having a proper little discussion with everybody, mostly about nonsense. Reading back some of the comments, I saw that I was mocking a 50p piece that I'd found, which had like a weird sort of, it looked like a Beavis and Butthead character jumping over a fence, and that it was apparently from 2012 Olympics, and apparently a kid had drawn it. So I basically just took the piss
Bradley.
out of a kid that had drawn this thing. Honestly,
that's bad in retrospect.
It's the worst 50p piece I've ever seen. When I picked it up, I thought it was fake because it was so weird. But yeah, so it's
don't double down on the critique of the kid.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't fact checked that. That is just a commenter had said that when I read the comments back. So I'm taking that as gospel that a kid had designed it. That tickled me a little bit when I read that. Yeah. So we had lots of random chat. Sad Rambo was a bit of a thing on it because I'd wore a silly outfit.
Well, we'll get into that because that's from the weekly upload. We'll get into Sad Rambo. Yeah, and so we are about to email the winner of the Digital Pub Club quiz.
That's exciting.
I won't say their name on here because we need to decide on a tiebreaker situation, which we'll do off air and then announce the winner. But again, strong scores, possible Googling going on.
Oh dear!
But we don't really have a way to prove yay or nay.
It's disappointing, isn't it, Johnny? We're doing this in the spirit of like truth and love.
I mean, to be fair, we did get out geeked by somebody who said that. Like, I was making up beer names and saying which of these is real, and I managed to make up a real beer name. So somebody pointed that out. So maybe people are just that clever.
Wow.
Maybe we should give them the benefit of doubt.
We should always give people the benefit of doubt. See the good in people. That's how I think.
I agree. So shall we talk about our upload this week? Which was, it was a risky one because it's a contentious topic and it's very sciencey, and also people seem to have quite strong opinions about it. So this week's video was all about whether you should age your beer. And I've got a fairly large beer stash. We've been inviting people using the hashtag beer stash to show off what they've got. I got completely outstashed today. Somebody posted they've got more lambic than I have total bottles.
Jesus.
They've got a serious collection going on. But yeah, so you can share that and we will take a look and comment. But yeah, so we did this video based off of your recommendations in the comments about whether you should age it, how you should age it, and what you should age. And from our own, what did we say? It was science, superstition, and mistakes is what we based it all on. And I guess we kind of came to the conclusion that aging beer successfully is incredibly difficult and you probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah, because the thing is, you're well, not to spoil anything, but it's all dependent on so much of time and the conditions you're keeping it in and being able to keep that constant. And then the fact that if you open something 3 months in or 6 months in or 9 months in, you're gonna get lots of different stuff going on. So it's
yeah, you're never gonna know whether you opened it at the right time, which is kind
it.
of galling. You'll be like, yeah, that was tasty, but what would it have been like 6 months before or 6 months after? Because they age, as we discuss, in like a sine wave, not in a straight line. Because nature never ages in a straight line, never does anything in a straight line. It's always based around cycles.
Apart from Johnny, Keanu Reeves, and is it Paul Rudd, Ant-Man,
who just don't age.
They don't age. They don't age. They are anomalies.
Yeah, it is super weird.
Nature's vampires. I mean, Paul Rudd is obviously an adorable-looking vampire, and I want to be his buddy.
That's how he gets you.
And also Keanu, what a lovely human being. He's done some lovely things in his life, and he's had a lot of tragic stuff happen to him. But they are both vampire men. Yes, very, very strange.
Well,
anyway.
I mean, Keanu Reeves, he was Constantine. He's anti-vampire.
He is anti. Well, I mean, he should be. He's anti-demon. There weren't actually any, as far as I know, there weren't any vampires in Constantine. Quite like that film, actually.
I think it's better than it had any right to be.
Yeah, I mean, it was really trashy, but I quite like Shia LaBeouf in it as well. I thought he was quite cool, little quirky guy. There's also I think it's on Prime, there's a Constantine series, which apparently is more like the comic books, which I've watched, and the guy who is John Constantine is English, and because it's an English graphic novel series, as far as I know. It was a bit Buffy the Vampire Slayer for me. I preferred the slickness of the film, but anyway, we're getting way off topic.
What are you saying about Buffy?
About Buffy.
One of the most important
I like
TV events of all time.
I like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, don't get me wrong. I also like the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer film. I think that's cool because it's got who's in it? Is it Rutger Hauer is in it? And yeah, it's just cool. The girl in it's Buffy's really cool in it, and it's got Luke Perry or Matt Perry or whatever he's called.
From Friends.
Yeah. Oh no, not from Friends. The one who's from
That's Matt Perry.
90210. Maybe it's Luke Perry. Anyway,
I don't know. We're beyond. I can't remember whether I've seen the film, but I don't need to because the TV show's so great.
It's got Donald.
Anyway, back to aging beer.
Yes, aging beer.
So we'll give you the too long didn't read, which is that you probably shouldn't age beer, but if you really want to, it should be a barley wine or a lambic, and you shouldn't let it go for too long, like particularly if you're not able to control the temperatures. So there were lots and lots of comments on this video. The first couple of comments were pretty scathing, so I was like, "Oh God, we've poked." So I say poked the bear's nest. That's not a nest of bears would be terrifying. What do I mean?
Poke
Bees, wasp nest.
Poke the wasp nest. Poke the bee's nest.
Oh, you poke the bear.
Poke the bear.
You don't poke a bear.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, some people were like, "Nah, you're wrong." But I think what we need to remember is, so lots of people saying you can age stuff that's under 7%. We said you shouldn't, like, and they said, it's fine. And you're like, yeah, it's fine, but was it as good as it was fresh? Because that's got to be the test, right?
Yeah.
If aging beer makes it worse than it was fresh, then you shouldn't do it.
Can we do a beer when we start brewing again, Johnny? Can we do a beer called, instead of Too Long Didn't Read, can we call it Too Good Didn't Age?
Yes, Brad.
Yeah, cool.
Done.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, that is the message. If it's too good, don't age it. And don't age really expensive stuff, like drink it. The brewers aren't going to put it out there if they don't think it's delicious.
Yeah.
Well, you'd like to think they wouldn't. So, you should drink it fresh unless you've got a couple of bottles of it, I guess.
We didn't really touch upon this, but do you think some people are aging stuff because they're looking at it like an asset that they're going to be able to sell on the secondary market? So they're kind of convincing themselves that they're doing it because it's going to taste better and whatnot, or do you think it's because they're too attached to the idea of owning this whale that they don't want to harpoon it and drink it? They want to keep owning it.
I think the main two causes of beer stash, if it were a disease, would be forgetting you had it.
Yes, that's me.
That's Brad. Or not being able to find an occasion to open it, and that's me.
Yes, that's you.
After those two main causes, you've then got people who want to experiment, and that's also me. I want to see what it will taste like. And then after that, I think, you've got people who are aging it possibly for profit.
Profit, or I think just to say that they've got it, like for bragging rights, like, I've got one of
like
those.
dick waving.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Right.
Some of it
There's probably a bit of dick waving going on with aging beer for sure. But yeah, I think most people are aging it almost by accident, really. And that's fine, because also most of these beers, they will last. They will still be delicious when you crack them. They just might not be quite as good as when you bought them. But yeah, some people must be. I know people who are saving and going, I've invested in this because I think it'll be worth some money in the future, which is, that's kind of fine. Like, you might make somebody incredibly happy if they get to buy a Cantillon Gueuze that's 10, 15 years old. But I'd like to think that people are doing that and then they'll crack it and share it with their friends. That's what I hope people are aging for. That's what I'm aging some special stuff for. Also, most of my beer stash is also videos that never got made, which we didn't address in the video either. So I've got all these beers where I'm like, why have I got that? Like this salted caramel milk stout and stuff like this. I'm like, that doesn't age well. And then I remember that was going to be a video. I think that was going to go in our adjunct stout video or something like that I never got around to and then forgot I had.
No, didn't make cut.
Well, let's go through some comments, shall we?
Let's have some comments.
So, we should reference the fact that Brad dressed like Rambo and then proceeded to be very sad when he cracked his 4-year-old Cloudwater Dipper V3. So sad Rambo has really taken off in the comments, which I'm very, very happy about.
I'm a bit unsure if I'm happy about. Let's roll with it.
Had some chats about whether if it's a corked beer, whether you should put it on its side or upright, whether a wet or a dry cork is best. I didn't really have an answer to that. It's a bit tricky to know because you've got to balance. If you store it upright, there's less liquid touching the air and getting oxidized. But if you serve it on its side, you'll keep the cork wet, which means that more oxygen won't get in. So you've got to balance the two. It's very tricky. I guess if you've got a steady temperature, there'll be less oxygen leaking in. So if you can keep a steady temperature, you don't need as wet a cork. What was your favourite comment?
Steve, I don't know about my favourite comment. Cheekiest comment. Stephen Law said, "I think Brad is aging his Barnet," which is my hair, obviously. Cheeky bugger. Just because I've got a bit of salt and pepper going on these days doesn't mean I'm aging my hair.
I think the salt and pepper looks great as well. You're aging like a fine barley wine, not like a double New England IPA.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. It's not on our latest video, but we did get an amazing comment on quite an old video we did, which was our ultimate beer and burger matching at Byron. Nerdy Metalhead 91 is clearly into metal, possibly heads, and food and beer. And he gave us basically the entire story of and a recipe for a Korean burger.
Ooh.
Where he prepped it like you would bulgogi.
Oh, wow.
So it's like I guess a sort of spicy, might have gochujang in it, like that spicy sour paste. And then he topped it with a fried egg and pickles, kimchi, sorry, not pickles, and aged cheddar. And served it with a beer he mixed with soju, which is that incredibly popular spirit.
Nice.
And he told us everything. So if you want to come up with an amazing burger recipe, or if you love Korean flavours, head over to our beer and burger matching masterclass and look up Nerdy Metalhead's amazing comment. Probably the best comment we've had all year.
Wowza. That does sound good. I need to check it out.
Yeah, he said all he did wrong is he didn't put any... He's going to do Korean pork belly next and add that instead of bacon.
Wow.
And hopefully he's going to deliver to us.
Do you think he's getting Ocado deliveries for all this amazing stuff, or where's he?
I reckon Ocado might, or for international people, Whole Foods might have everything you need to make the Nerdy Metalhead Korean barbecue burger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm struggling to get a loaf of bread these days, but there you go.
Bread and pasta are the main concerns right now. Yeah, although I've been, as you know, making my own bread, so we're going to have a video all about beer bread coming to the channel soon as I perfect that recipe. Still not getting the rise I want.
It's going all right,
Clearly
though.
Yeast struggles.
It looked big. It was like a moon, the one that you had on the live show.
It was. I did hold it close to the camera to make it look bigger. But yeah, I'm struggling with my rise. I think yeast struggles to get going in an alcoholic atmosphere already, because yeast does tend to slow down as the alcohol gets higher.
Don't we all, mate? I mean, the yeast are drunk, presumably.
Brad is less productive in an alcoholic atmosphere, that's for sure.
This is true.
Right, well, we're coming to the end of the show. I hope that's been super exciting, and it's brought a little smile to your face as you don't commute back from work on a Friday. Still pissed off we launched this goddamn commuter podcast at a time when no one's commuting. But we've got some news, haven't we, Bradders?
We have. I was getting a bit worried you'd forgotten, but yes, we've got some exciting news. So we are doing our digital pub club on a 2-weekly basis now. The next digital pub club, we'd love if you could all get involved directly with us. We're going to be selling a beautiful box of beer through beer merchants in the UK. They deliver all around Europe. And what we're going to do is we're going to do our quiz as normal, but we're going to do a live drink along. So we're going to drink maybe half the case in the video. What do you reckon, Johnny? Is that too ambitious, or?
Yeah, I think we're going to drink 4 or 5 beers during the video.
Yeah.
And then that case that we're going to do will also work for the next live show we do.
Yeah, man. So we're going to get at least two live show videos that you can drink along with us, drinking the same stuff. We want to really create that pub experience. And how do you do that? You all drink the same beer. That's how we thought we'd do it.
Exactly. So our next live show is on the 29th of April. So that's just under 2 weeks away. We are already, we're talking about the case with beer merchants, working out what we want to put in it and what we can put in it, because stock is hard to come by currently in the beer world. But we will have a really exciting and delicious case. And we'll put the link live in the show notes as soon as we finalise the case. And we'll have it all over social media and all over the YouTube channel all of next week. You'll need to order it, I believe, by the 26th to definitely get it on time.
Brilliant.
But I would advise ordering it by the 24th, just to be sure.
I mean, it's going to be good value. There's going to be one of our glasses in there.
You'll get one of our wonderful glasses designed by Bradley in every single box. It'll be a lovely case, and you get a glass, and we'll be able to recreate that pub experience even more. And we get a little bit of the profit from those boxes. Because I don't know if you guys know, but YouTube advertising revenue has fallen off a cliff.
Yes.
We've got the same amount of views as we had last month, but we've got less than half the amount of money in advertising.
And that was small, let's face it. It wasn't a huge
Yeah,
amount
that was small to start with. Thanks, Brad.
Sorry to bother you, yeah.
Yeah. So once that link's live, we'll be hammering it at you. And like we say, it's available all throughout Europe. Apologies to America, but we will make some kind of announcement of similar stuff you can buy so that you can taste something similar to us as we're going through it. And that brings us to the end of Friday, 5 p.m. Let us know via the hashtag Beer Stash what you've got in your beer stash and what you're cracking. And please do crack it, because we're doing videos exploring my beer stash and interviewing the people who made the beers. So join in with that. Join in with cracking, exciting stuff. Until Wednesday, that's everything from me and Brad. And thanks to everyone that made Wednesday a very emotional and wonderful day in lockdown.
We love you guys. Stay safe out there.
The Bubble Podcast is brought to you by the nerds behind YouTube's Craft Beer channel. Head to youtube.com/the Craft Beer channel to watch this week's video and over 400 more exciting episodes. If you love what we do, please do subscribe and even join our Patreon at patreon.com/craftbeer channel. Love and beer.